they will be adding some support for SignalR to our Fairplay 2 open source project, which is code in Blazor WebAssembly. Okay, so why do we want to use SignalR? So we are going to use it for a couple of scenarios that we are going to have in the near future. One of them is we already have the videos or the indexing, processing of the videos already implemented, right? But so far the users have to go and reload the page if they are in the main page, right? And constantly be refreshing to know if the videos are finished processing, right? And that's not ideal. So one of the things that we will do is take advantage of SignalR to notify the users when their videos have already been processed, so they can go and refresh the page at that time. That actually allows them to stop worrying about that, continue using the application in the other functionality that we will have in there, and then when they get a notification they can just go and see the videos and see that everything is okay, right? Okay, also we are going to use SignalR when we implement the messaging or the user's inbox, right, and the message, the communication among users in the system. So we are going to send a notification when they have received a new message from another user, and we are going to do that through SignalR. The messages are going to be stored in the database, of course, but if the user is logged in, they will receive a SignalR notification, so they can go and check their inbox. Okay, so first thing that we need to do is we need to go to the Microsoft page when they tell us how to implement SignalR with Blazor, and you can choose Blazor WebAssembly or Blazor Server, right? Okay, so now we need to add the client library. So we will add the NuGet package, which is the one. It's Microsoft ASP.NET Core SignalR.client. So we take that name, we go to the client project, and you will add it in here. You will add it in here, okay, and then you install it, and that will have the support for SignalR from our client application. Okay, so let's see, it should install it. It's already installed. That's great. So now we need to add the SignalR hub, right? The SignalR hub is going to be implemented in our server project, right? So now we have to go, and according to our requirements in here, we are going to have a notifications folder, which is going to have a hubs subfolder and a models subfolder. So let's go to the API. Let's close all of this. Let's go to the API server project. Let's implement here or create here a notifications folder. And here we have to create a hubs folder too, right? Okay. Now we are going to create a notification, a models folder, where we are going to create the notification model or class. So I am actually going to name it notification model. We are going to change that in the requirements, and then we are going to create a notification hub in here. Okay, the notification hub is going to inherit from hub. However, we are going to change that. We do not want this to inherit just from hub. We want to be of notification hub model. Was it? Yes. Okay. And I can't remember if that's correct, so we'll see. We'll see. Okay. So we implement that. This is the notification hub, right? Now the things that we need to do is we want to create the send message, right? So let's see. We create a sync task, right? So let's see. Public async task notification model. Actually, no. Task send message, right? Notification model. Okay. And then what we are going to do is we are going to await these clients all, right? And let me check. And yeah, I forgot about this. This is I have clients of notification model, right? So let me remember how we implemented the strongly typed SignalR. So let's look for it. .NET 5 SignalR strong type. Okay. I do not like to use magic or strings like that. So let's see the way in which you do it is you create, of course, the interface, which is going to be, yes, the contract is not the model, is the interface. I forgot about that. Okay, so models interface. Okay, new item in here. Actually, new fold. I notification hub. Going to generate that type. Okay, that should be an interface, right? Okay, great. So this is going to have public sync task. Oh, sorry, this is the interface. So that's only going to have, yes, it's going to be called receive message or whatever name we want debug it, right? Receive message. And this is going to receive the notification model, which is this one, model, right? That's okay. That has that. Now it will tell us that we need to implement this interface. A notification hub. Why didn't interface? Okay. It's interesting. It didn't tell me that I need to implement it. Should have told me. Let me check. Let's rebuild this and we'll see. So it won't tell me because this is going to be used not as a method in here, I believe. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I forgot about that. Public async task send message, right? Actually, no, like that. Notification hope, right? Okay. And what we are going to do is send message to who we want to send the message, right? We are going to send them to all. And we are going to do this. Await this clients all receive message and see that that now implements the support for the interface that we are sending. Now let's see what I am missing. Yeah, of course, it's notification model, and that's it. And then we want to implement the send message to caller, which will be similar, but we will do receive message that receives caller dot receive message that receives also the model. So notification model, okay, we send here the model. So okay, this is going to send the message to all of the clients, and this is going to send a message back to the caller. So that's okay. We have the interface and we have that. Okay, so let's see what else we want to have. Okay, now we can continue in our Blazor application. So now in the server we want to enable SignalR. So we have in here SignalR, we go to configure services. So we go to the startup class, and in the startup class we are going to go to the configure services. We do services dot add SignalR, right? Then we need to add this response compression, right? So we are going to copy this. I'm not exactly sure if it matters where to put it, so I'm going just to put it after add the Blazor pages. So I'm going to put it below this. Okay, now we need to add the using control dot. Okay, and then we need to add in here in the configure method, we need to add the use response compression. So we go to the configure method, which is this one, and as a first line, and can add that. Okay, and we are missing the mapping to the hub route, right? So we are going to get this. We are going to put it before the call to the fallback, and in here we should have it. We are actually going to remove this. We are going to put this in here, and now we are going to do notifications. Notifications hub was the one, the name I put it, right? We don't really have to put the same name, but it's it's good to use it because we can just map it and understand it more easily, I would say, right? So let's see. Now we need to add the SignalR component code, right? So this is the in this example, what they are showing us is the index page with the SignalR client connection added. So I am going to modify this a little bit because we are going to create a SignalR component, and so we can utilize it in every other place of the application if we have to. So what we are going to do is we now go to our client project. Remember that in our client project we have these custom components for the actual components that are going to be specific for the client project. In this case, I am going to use something like SignalR, right? And I am going to name it notification help client, I would say. Notification help component and notification hub, just like that. Okay, remember that I do not like to have the code inside this same file, so something that I could do is actually this is not the preview. I was checking if we have the quick refactoring here, because the other day I saw in a video that apparently now we are going to be able to create the CSS from the CS file from here, which is really good. Okay, but since I didn't see it at the moment, we can just go and do notification help.blazor.cs. Remember, it has to have the exact same name with the extension of the view, the Blazor file, plus the .cs extension, public partial. Okay, so now let's see what we need to have. So in the on initialize async, what we are going to do is in there we are going to create the connection, and this is going to map to the URL of the notification hub, remember? So we are going to do that. Now I'm going to do override on initialize async. I could copy it, but I just don't want to. Okay, async, right? And now I am going to copy this code and we are going to explore it. have to modify it a little bit. So we have the hub connection, right? But we don't have it defined, so we are going to create the variable in there. So here, generate the hub connection. Actually, start adding the usings. Okay, add the using to the SignalR client. We have to define the navigation manager, which I am going to create in here. Private navigation manager gets set. I could do read only, or I believe whatever I want in there. And navigation manager, it exists. Now we are going to create the local variable in here, right? And yeah, you have seen that I do not really like to work with I usually like all of this to be properties. I don't know, that's just the way that I like to work. And yeah, okay. The hub is going to be notification hub, was it? So let's see, we go to the server. We are in here, right? It was on the configure, right? And it was at the bottom. Notification hub. Okay, so remember that this exists for a reason, just to avoid duplicating I am going to use that just so I can create actually this is not the constants that I am looking for. Global common global constants. I am going to create a class in here which is going to be hubs, right? This does not exist, so create a field. No, we are going to go in here. This is not going to be that. This is going to be public class helps, right? And public const string notification hub, and this is going to have the value of the notification hub, right? So in here is going to be hub notification hub. Let's add this slash in there, and now in our CS file we are going to use the same common global constants hubs notification hub. Okay, and now this is going to be notification model. Okay, I need to move that class to the shared project. So this model is actually going to go to the shared project, this models project. We are going to create a notifications folder in here. Notifications. We are going to paste the file. I am going to change the namespace to the base of this project, right? Notifications. Okay. And now in our server project, I am going to delete the models folder, just so for that. now in here I need to add the using, and I'll need to clean the invalid reference because I delete it from there, and I probably have to do the same in here. Okay, and I'll remove all of the invalid references and the empty ones. Okay, so that's it for that. Now we go in here, and notification model, I should be able to have access to it already because it's on the common project. Now we put model in there. Let's see. This we are actually not going to do anything in there yet. Have connection. This is for the received message. We are going to probably put this also in a constant in a second. And this is the initialization, right? So actually let's see, here is the send. This is, we are going to implement this. So private async task send. We are going to send a notification model, right? And then what we need to do is use the hub connection dot send async, right? Wait is dot hub connection send async send message, and we are going to send the model. Now I don't know if the hub connection can be strongly typed, not even the send message. Let's see this. I'm sorry, this hub connection dot, yeah, I don't have that. This has to have this the exact same name that it's on the hub, right? Okay, we need to implement this is connected, right? And we need to implement the dispose async. So we are going to copy those, right? Okay, and the way that this is going to work is like this. Let's see. When that component initializes, it is going to establish a connection to our SignalR hub, right? And in this demo, what they are doing basically is disabling the button to send a message while the connection hasn't been established, right? Once the connection is established, the send is visible, right? And when you send this is going to execute. When you click this button, it's going to execute the send action or the handler, and the send is sending a message with what the user typed, which is this user input, which is mapped, of course, is this variable, which is bound to the user, to this field, right? So when the user types something, that's what it's going to be sent, right? User input and message input, right? So let's see, how do we test this? What we can do is I am going to do I'm going to do the same just for testing purposes, right? And then we are going to clean that. So input type equals text, right? The value is going to be bound to I do not have actually I am just going to create a button, right? I'm going to put in here send. The button is going to be type button, and the on click is going to be on click, actually send click. Okay, this is going to receive this is an event callback, right? I am going to mouse even arcs. Let's see. Well, let's just implement the normal void or normal async. Actually, in this case, is I am going to do a call private async send click, right? Async task, sorry. Okay. Now what I am going to do is I am going to create just a test model, right? And right, it has no data at the moment. It was going to have a couple of fields which I forgot to add: notification type and message, right? Currently I am going only to add the message because the notification type is going to be an enumeration that I haven't defined yet. Okay, and here in the message we are going to put test message. Okay, await this send, and I am going to pass the model that I just created. Let's fix the name of the await, and that will be it, right? Then the other thing that we are going to do is, okay, we already implemented the handler for the received message that receives a notification hub tool, right? And what I am going to do is private string server message, right? And in here the only thing that I am going to do is server message equals model dot message. Actually, sorry, message datetime set etc now and model dot message. And yes, it has to update the channel, right? And that should be it. So let's see. Let's remove a couple of breakpoints. Let's put a breakpoint in here. Let's put a breakpoint in here. Let's put a breakpoint in this on send click. Let's verify that this is compiling, that it doesn't have any error. And on our index page we are going to render that component in some place. Actually, I'm going to put it below the yeah, I forgot about that. we'll test that. And then the other thing that we need to do is we need to go to our hub and verify that we are actually receiving the information. Let's compile the application, let's run the application, and let's see if this is actually working as we expect it to work. So let's wait for the application to load and we'll see. Okay, so the application is loading. Okay, let's click the send button. And yes, our hub is actually receiving the data. Yes, test message. And that will be it for the moment, right? Now let's see, of course I never printed this in there, so that's why we didn't see it. But every time we hit send, we should get a the same message with a slightly different time. So there it is at 7:03:54, 7:04, right? And if I click, we start getting warnings. Now this is just the basis for being able to work with SignalR. The other thing that we need to do is to use iHub, or the hub context, right? So that one actually I can't remember exactly how to do it. I don't remember if you have injected, but for example, we want our controllers to notify the user that the video has been indexed. But there are a couple of places where we actually may need the hub context. So in the video controller, we have the callback for video indexer. Actually, this one is in the Azure Video Indexer controller. This has the method which is the callback for Azure Video Indexer, right? So in here, we should also have hub. Was it iHub context? Yes. And let's see if it's iHub context from notification hub. I don't remember if that one actually supports a okay, I may not be able to do that. I believe you can do it. Let's find out. Yes. SignalR hub context strong type. So in our content, we need to implement the client. Which is, yeah. Let's see. We receive. Oh, right. It receives two. It receives the hop context, the hop type, and the client, um, type. So it's going to be notification hop. And we need the client, right? Because yeah, it receives, let's see, is it the model or no? It needs the um, access to the um, methods, right? So probably, yes, I don't have send or anything in here. So notification hub client. So I will need to go and implement another in here, which is going to be a notification hub client. Notification hub client, which yeah, we are going to have a this broadcast message, right? This broadcast message is going to just receive the notification model, right? Okay. Now let's see. Oh, this is the okay public task. Wait, this is going to inherit from hub, right? Of I notification hub client, right? It's hub. Okay. Using SignalR, we are going to generate that interface. That interface is actually, let's see, is dot clients all, right? Broadcast message. So yeah, here we are going to have the task notification model. Okay, so we have that in there, and now we should be able to do all. Sorry, is dot clients dot broadcast message model. We need to add a sync in here, and let's see if we are missing something else. let's see. This is going to be notification hub, a notification hub client. Does it have context, right? I have context, notification hub, notification hub client. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm missing something. Actually, yes, this is, I think I did notification hub. I believe I should have actually name it like this. Yes, that's it. So I may actually not need the others, I'm sorry. We'll check that in a second. And yes, let's see, in hub context we have clients dot all receive message, right? In this, what I do is, yeah, broadcast message, but the broadcast message ends up being it's just the name, right? So okay, hub context equals hub context, and what I am going to do in here is in this endpoint I just want to test it, so meanwhile I'll just comment this, right? And then I'll do await this the hub context clients all receive message, and we'll tell them something like notification model, right? We put something like message equals video. It should actually not go to all of them. We should find the owner of the video, check which is the actual connection, or if he is in a group, SignalR group, or whoever we have been mapping it, or however we map it, and then we will send it, right? But in this case we just want to test that they receive the actual message. Video ID has been processed, and that should be it for now, right? Should be able to run this. we are going to test that through Swagger. So we'll verify if we actually get the context. Okay, /Swagger. Okay, it's configured. That endpoint is public, so I should be able to use it, right? I'll put 999. Actually, I'll put a negative or invalid value, right? I could put whatever in there because it's not validating it at the moment, right? Now you see that yes, we get the hub, right? Then the endpoint should have been reached, right? And we are not going to see anything because I closed my window. Okay. Now let's see. We try this again. Continue, continue. And in here we may be able to see, yes, video 987 has been processed. So we now know that we can send a message from the server to any of the users. In this case, we are sending it to all of the users, right? But that's not the way in which we should implement that. We are going to remove this test code. Okay. And we have to think now which is going how we want to map. So SignalR has a way in which you can add users to groups, right? Let me remove the hub client and the iNotification hub client because yeah, we won't need those. I messed up in there, but yeah, okay. SignalR has a way in which you can add people to groups, right? So you could have something in here like here, for example, you see that this has these groups, right? Add to group a sync, so it will add a specific connection to a group, right? Now the thing with this is that this is going to do it for a given connection ID. The connections ID could be you will lose it, and I believe the connection ID changes every single time you reconnect. I don't think you maintain it, so you will lose the connection ID. But let's see. So the connection ID in this case, we should actually have it in here. This context connection ID, right? And in this connection ID, we could do something like this connection ID, right? And we put the name of the group, something like video or video dash, and the actual video ID, which will be in, let's say, in that model, right? So we will do things, we could do things like that, right? And then if we want to send to a group, we will do something like this: clients group, was it? Mhm. And then receive message to just the people who have that group, right? Let's see what other ways you could do to user. So let's see with the specified user. So I do not know um, what we will get on the user ID, and especially because this is also going to be invoked from a public endpoint, which is not going to be authorized for a specific user. So I'm not sure if we will be able to get the user ID in that case. Let's see what we have. What we get when we click the send message. Let's see what we get in the user. We may actually get, if we are logged in, we may actually get the Azure Active Directory user information. And I am not logged in this case, right? But let's see, for example, if I log in with my test user, and I click send, let's see what we get in the context, this context user. So we get the claims principal. Claim principal has an identity, which, let's see, no, and we do not have it authorized. Now let's see how we will do that. .NET 5 SignalR authorization. Let's see. This is for the .NET Core 5.0. So use authorization. We map the hub, right? The better authentication. Okay. Access token factory equals this login token, and the login token should be stored somewhere around there, right? Let's see, JWT bearer. We already have that because we are already configure the and this is what we need. So let's see, access token, if the request has access token, this is on the JWT bearer, right? But we already have the events and the message received. This is on the message received, of course. So let's see. We already configured the authentication because we are using Azure Active Directory Business to Consumer Authentication. So we already have, we even have a couple of those events in there. We already have the token validated, but in this case, seems that we want to implement the message received, right? So events dot on message received, right? Which is also going to be in the scene context, right? And the code. Okay. Now this is not going to be hubs chat. This, remember that we have it common dot global dot constants dot helps notification hub return task. Now let's see what I am missing in here. It should be a comma or nothing. I am missing something in here, it seems. It should be a colon. Okay, right. This is not going to be a asynchronous, right? And let's see. So yeah, this will fall a couple of times on that. So I'll put the breakpoint back after I log in. And in theory, in theory, it should be called once I click this send. Oh, it didn't. So let's see. I will need to store the token somewhere. I am not persistent the token, so yeah, that's something that I'll need to figure out exactly how to do it. But yeah, we already have the initial configuration for SignalR, right? We can send messages from the client to the server and from the server to the client. We can broadcast messages, and we can use the hub context from the controllers. So in this case, when the callback from Azure Video Indexer is executed, it will use this endpoint as the callback, right? And our application will be executed. And if we had the notification hub logic in here, it will send the data, right, or the message to the actual users. Now we need to figure out in which groups how to add it and what is going to be the best solution for that. Actually, if you may know, you can comment in the video which is the best approach to map the users with the connection or the groups, right? one technique that people do is actually temporarily store the information in a database, but if there's a way to avoid doing that, that will be much better, right? Media. And yeah, we'll see you on the next live stream. Thank you very much and have a great day. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, share the videos, like them, and invite more people to the channel so we can keep growing and making more training videos for you. Have a great day.